Good morning, almost good afternoon, everyone. Um, like Steve said, I come from the Bay Area, specifically West Contra Costa Unified School District. Um, and we are part of a small but very intense and committed group of Defend Public Education now. And first I want to tell you a little bit about the last election. Despite the fact that I was not elected, we obtained, personally, I obtained 11% of the vote on an explicitly against charter school platform, and also two other friends that were in the race. And among the three of us, we obtained over 30% of the vote. So there is a sentiment, there is a base that is willing to vote for candidates who are against charters. I don't need to tell you, you are from LA, you are familiar with the humongous amounts of money that is being poured into these campaigns. In the campaign last year, just to elect one candidate, they managed to elect only one candidate, they put in over $600,000. I did the math and it came out to about $25 per vote. The other candidate they elected, one of those neutral people, you know, I'm a lawyer, is the law, I respect the law, I'm not going to do anything against the law, so he got in for cheap. But, and right now we have out of the 5-member school board, we have a majority of candidates, 3 who are definitely pro-charter. Their campaigns have been fully funded for charters. And in total, in those 3 individuals, they spent over $1 million to have them on the board. And compared to the school district here, we are, of course, a small district. We have about 29,000 students with about 17%, that's about a little over 5,000 enrolled in charter schools. So we are in a similar position to LA. I understand that you have here about 20% of students in the district enrolled in charter schools. So I'm going to just give you a little bit of information about our district and the struggles that we have been engaged in. And then I would like to touch again on some points that I think will have deserve to be discussed with regards to the tactics, the strategic goal of the movement that we're trying to start, and the tactics that we have used in UNLA. I would like to hear from you and some of the things that we have done. So I was saying, in the last year, 26-17, the subsidy to the charter school industry added to $94 million. That's about $46 million from ADA and $48 million from salaries for the teachers and administrators, instructional materials, professional development, and the like of the charter schools. We should keep in mind that this $94 million came from the general fund, from the local control funding formula, and from Title II. Okay, so those are funds that would have gone in their entirety to the public school teachers. They went to the charter schools. Last month, a school board approved another charter school, the Voices Language Academy, and they approved it over the staff report. The staff report denied it. They say categorically that this charter was not prepared. They had no chance of meeting the promises that they made in the proposal. So the staff report denied the charter, but the school board approved it. That was last month at the school board. Then another charter application came out, the one from Invictus, K-12 charter schools. And that charter was denied by the school board. I think because of the pressure that we put in, a former school board member spoke at the board meeting, pointed out the fact that, hey, there goes another $10 million from our general fund, so what are you going to do about it? So on that occasion, the school board denied the petition for the Invictus, but anyway, last Wednesday of this past week, they went before the County Board of Education, and the County Board of Education, of course, approved their charter. Okay, so if the petitions for the new charters or for the expansion of the existing ones are approved by either the district, the county, or the state, which is something very likely to happen, the subsidy to the corporate charter school quotations reform project could well gobble up more than half of our district's annual budget. And in my opinion, and that of others more familiar than I am with the budget issues, that means that in a question of 2 or 3 years, West Contra Costa Unified School District will be bankrupt. I mean, we're going to be a bankrupt district. And I would like to note that right before here I used the word subsidy when I said that the charter schools were being subsidized to the tune of $94 million. And I use that word quite deliberately because it gets right to the core of the matter of what is exactly the role of the charter schools vis-a-vis school districts. You should know that in Spanish, I've been to other forums with the head translator, interpreter services, and there is no direct translation for charter in Spanish. So they use the expression escuelas subvencionadas, subsidized schools, which I think is very precise and to the point. And it makes us appreciate the irony that we are asked to subsidize our own competition. Because if you look at documents, official documents here and everywhere, they talk about competition and choice. And whoever, and if anybody ever had a business or any interest in any business, you will realize that it's one of the most idiotic things that you can do as a businessman is to subsidize your own competition. Okay, but that is precisely what we are doing. Now, I would like to engage briefly in just a thought experiment. You know, let's suppose that indeed we succeed, and tomorrow all charter laws have been repealed. What? Are we going to pat ourselves on the back and let the district give them their schools back? I suggest that that's not what we should do. My position is that the strategic goal of the resistance movement to oppose the privatization of our public school system should not limit itself simply to defend the existing school system. I think that we should make use of the state of emergency in which the capitalist system is, not only in this country, but worldwide. Okay? It's a time of opportunity for us. We know the nature, I know you all do your reading, but let me just repeat the characteristics of this state of emergency in which the system is faced. You know, we have the economic stagnation in practically all mature capitalist societies. We have a shift to financialization where we mistake speculative bubbles for economic growth. And we also have a concentration and monopolization of capital on a global scale. For us, that means that, as I was saying before, we cannot allow the public school system to take over. Remember, this is a thought experiment. Let's say there's no charter schools, but we succeed and tomorrow they are repealed. What's going to happen then? We're going to say, okay, you can take back your schools? No, of course not. Because we know for a fact, and that's one of the limitations that we have had in West Contra Costa, that parents are voting with their feet. Okay? Our parents in West Contra Costa, we are predominantly Latin American and African American community, and they are walking away from the public school system. Okay? Many are returning, of course, after the 1 or 2 disappointing years in charter schools. But indeed, there is a feeling that our public schools are not, for many reasons, are not teaching, okay, what they should teach. And my position is that we should make use of this state of emergency to create the basis for what cannot be called anything but a truly revolutionary approach to the education process. And that, I suggest, should be based on community schools. But don't be misled by the expression community schools. There are websites about community schools, and they are really well-intentioned organizations, institutions that provide Band-Aid services to ailing districts. Okay, we promise, you have fewer dropouts, et cetera, your grade scores will improve. Okay. What should be done is that we need to change what we are teaching, how we are teaching, and who we are teaching it to. Okay? And I think that we have the basis. We have this country has a long experience of radical movements. And just to start the discussion on this subject, I would like to refer to a gentleman that wrote a book on the purpose of education in the 1930s, 1932. And remember that 1932 was very close to the economic crash of 1929. That's the year when remember, that's 1932, that's the year when the Communist Party of the United States obtained a little over 1 million votes, okay? So again, we are not very, very far away, I think, from another crisis, even bigger than the one in 2008. So the ground is being set up for us to intervene. So some of the proposals that this gentleman comes up with is the following. His one mistake was to think that the social order could be changed only through the schools. Okay? He realized the importance of the school system. We should also realize that in this crisis that the system is in right now, schools play a crucial role. Okay? We are in the information age. Okay? And our schools are knowledge factories. We process information. Okay? We inform and we form young minds. And because that is our job, that is our duty, that is what we do, we play, whether we like it or not, a central role in the reproduction of the economic and social system that we are under. See? So I will start first by rejecting this proposal from the 1930s that we can change the school system, that we can change the social order through the schools. So I don't believe that a new social order can be built through the schools alone. I do believe that schools will be an essential part of the new order, of a new order that is built through the cooperative effort of all of us, teachers, factory workers, professionals, and administrators. Another thesis is that teachers are capable of being major agents of social change. Okay, we are not the only influence in the young students' lives, but we are a major influence. We are, as Aristotle said, we are political animals, and we belong to the family of mammals, and one characteristic of mammals is the love and the care that they place upon their offspring. And so one of the most important and political decisions that a parent can make is, where are you going to send your kid to school? Under whose care are you going to leave him for 6 hours to 8 hours a day? So another thesis is that school should not be a neutral place. Okay, our schools should not be neutral places, but we should be centers where we advocate a socially and economically democratic view of society. Okay, and I like to stress this socially and economically democratic view of society, because I have run into a lot of people that are against charters. So yeah, charters are not public schools because look, they don't admit everybody. And yes, charter schools don't admit everybody, et cetera, et cetera. But the fundamental issue is that charter schools are not democratically run. Okay, they have no links whatsoever to the community. And they are turning education, which I said is the most important political and personal decision that a family can make, they are making that choice an economic market choice. Okay? Remember how they reason. I've spoken to many charter people. They said the taxes, they come with the student. It's not a lump of money to educate the community. It's distributed individually per family. So when they go to a charter school, we're only exercising their choice to use their money any way they want. See? So we need to do changes, fundamental changes in the curriculum and the social role of the teacher. Just for starters, two things. One, our students should know studying our district should be one of the main tasks that we perform as teachers, exactly what is going on in our district. Many parents that I have spoken to have not the slightest idea of what a charter school is all about. All they see is a brand new building built with non-union labor, like happening over there in West Contra Costa. That's all they see, okay? But you explain to them, hey, listen, like in the case of Ron Bella, the head of the Caliber Public School, this guy made his fortune speculating on mortgage-backed securities, see? And one of the symptoms of this crisis is that finance capitalism has discovered education as a new market to exploit. And in fact, there is a new market tax credit, a 7-year, 39 federal income tax credit. So those things need to be changed, and we need to be aware of it. And another thing is changes, fundamental changes in the curriculum, okay? Specifically, I taught social science for many years, and one important thing that we can do, it may seem like a small thing, but we can have our students understand that socialism, communism, anarchism, and other non-capitalist forms of organizing human life are serious and must be thought about, and that people have the right to choose the social systems they believe will meet their needs and the needs of their communities. And finally, I would add that this new vision of education, this revolutionary approach to the process of education should be based on an old formula, really. It was expressed almost 150 years ago. We should seek to combine in our schools, in our activities, we should seek to combine productive labor, education, and play. In Chile, with Salvador Allende, escuela, trabajo, estudio, y deporte. Work, study, and play. That's the foundation of life, and that should be the foundation, the philosophical, the ethical foundation of what I would call a revolutionary approach to education. Work, because we need to work. I mean, as animals, we are engaged, like all living forms, in a metabolic relationship with nature. So we need to engage in that. And our studies should be a part of that. For example, you have a school garden in school, fine, you have a very nice school garden, but the question is that school garden, are the activities in that school garden integrated to your chemistry, to your biology classes? Huh? We have in the high school where I spent, 20-something years, we have, thanks to Bill Gates' money, we have the engineering academy. But we are educating blackboard engineers. None of those kids that finish high school from the engineering academy ever had their hands dirty with car grease or anything. But it's the thing now, right? The National Academy Foundation in this high school where I was at, they take pride in the fact that they have wall-to-wall academies. So we need to fundamentally change what we do in the schools, what we teach, how we teach it, and who to teach it to. And that is going beyond. It's not going beyond defending public education, but working along. Okay? The end doesn't justify the means. The means at the end. Okay. So, thank you very much.